So my first question would be why Mario Lopez is even sitting down and having a conversation with Candace Owens in the first place. I'm the librarian, and I came to read. So I am interrupting our regularly scheduled programming to go ahead and have this full conversation about Mario Lopez. A few of y'all have been tagging me on Twitter and also on Instagram, so I say, you know what, let's just go ahead and have a full video, have a full convo about this. Before we get into it, make sure that you're going over to patreon.com/AdrianExpression, cast your votes on the type of content that I'll be releasing on Patreon and also on YouTube. Get your life, you'll love it. You get the videos over there first before they come over here on YouTube. And also, if the schedule seems a little bit weird towards the end of the week, I will be traveling this weekend to Central Florida to celebrate the fact that my brother is getting his master's degree. Woohoo! Yes, my family is filled with a bunch of nerds and black excellence type of teas. So yeah, I'll be all over the place this weekend. So just keep that in mind when you're looking over my channel and my content. So let's go ahead and have this discussion because people already, I stand with Mario Lopez without even understanding why people are mad or caring why people are angry about what he said. So we got to break it down. Before this even happened, we're going into this knowing that Mario Lopez has said this. He believes such movements like Believe Woman, like hashtag Believe Woman, is a dangerous hashtag because people lie and sometimes those people are women. He also said, God forbid you have a son out there and a girl may have felt a certain way about a situation, dismissed, hurt, whatever, and is feeling vengeful and just decides to tell a certain story that's not even exactly true, come back and hurt that individual. So it's just, by the way that he speaks, we can tell that he's extremely ignorant, and sometimes like when you don't know anything about a topic, you should just sit your ass down. Now, we already know that women, and this is not even the main point because we're talking about transgender issues, or at least he tried to, but we already know that this justice system already makes it hard for women to come forward. That's why a lot of them do not. A lot of times a woman who reports certain things, abuse to sexual abuse, they end up in worse situations because of the way the justice system works and the way that abusers work. Like, we know that already. There's so many roadblocks in place that women don't feel comfortable even, speaking up. They feel like they will make the situation worse. That's the first thing. The second thing is a lot of people have this fake concern about false allegations, and if we're being honest, one study over the past 20 years, and this comes from BBC, only 2 to 10% of rape accusations are proven to be false, and this comes from a study. I'll put the screenshot of the study up here. David Lysak, who comes from the University of Massachusetts, wrote this paper along with others. So that's one thing. But then the FBI has put the number of unfounded rape allegations at 8%. So it's just like, it doesn't leave the single digit percentage. And if it does, it barely does. Women have had a history of being oppressed and being silenced. And it's just like, I don't understand what's so wrong with believing victims who come forward, doing the investigative work and making a decision after. I don't understand why that's pleasant. So whatever, he talked about that. Then he went on, and I don't know why he's having this discussion with Candace Owens. Like, I don't know why his agents thought that, hey, this is a good idea, put Mario Lopez up with Candace Owens. Like, who does that? So they go on to talk about transgender people, specifically transgender kids, and the way that parents treat them. The conversation was already going weird places, and they demonstrated, both of them, that they have little to no understanding of the topic that they're trying to talk about. So Candace Owens was over here trying to compare transgender kids to, oh, well, I feel like, if a kid tells me that they're Superman and they jump off the stairwell, lucky I was there to catch them because he's not Superman, he can't fly. Or basically saying they compare, and that's the first issue. Let's just break it down, that's the first issue, because a lot of cishet people who are ignorant, who are bigoted, they view transgender issues just like, the kid wants to be a rock, or the kid wants to be a tree, or the kid wants to be Superman. It's just like, if you would view these issues as legitimate, you and your child, if this even comes up, would be able to talk to each other and come to a certain understanding, or open your eyes to what's really going on in the child's mind. If you actually view these issues as not a Halloween costume, as legitimate, we wouldn't have these, it's just a phase built as, because I heard that, and I'm not transgender, I heard that as a gay man, it's just a phase, simply because you don't understand it, and that to me is weakness, okay? If your child is coming to you telling you something, or you can see that something is wrong, all you have to say is it's just a phase, so now you want to be Superman. I heard that sometimes in my own household when I was like, you know what, this is who I am, I'm gay. And they were like, oh, well, you want to be a woman too? And it's just like, nobody said all that, sis. Nobody said all of that. I just said, here I am, this is what I'm going through, and y'all just, now you want to be a rock, now you want to be a panther, now you want to be a lion. It's just like, that is really, and it's a phase. That's what they were saying in that conversation too. It's just a phase. And then the second thing is, Candace Owens brought up this whole like, I was a tomboy, and thank God they didn't let me do anything or shave my head, because when I went through puberty started liking boys, I would have been so mad. And it's just like that's the second thing. Y'all don't know what y'all are talking about. There's a difference between gender and sexuality, and there's just because you wear baggy clothes and even if you shaved your head does not mean that you automatically felt like you were born as the wrong gender. So it's like y'all are conflating sexuality. Oh, 3-year-olds don't know anything about sexuality. And it's just crazy because that's not what we're talking. We're not talking about sexuality. You can be trans, you can be a trans man and still be attracted to men. You can be a trans woman and still be attracted to women. That gender part does not have anything to do with sexuality for you. So for y'all to be up here talking about saying what parents should be doing with their trans kids, and when y'all don't even have a grasp, y'all don't even have an understanding on sexuality versus gender, you need to shut the fuck up. You need to shut the fuck up. Stop talking and listen. That's the thing. The third thing is, girl, of course I know that children, especially 3-year-olds, whatever, I don't know why y'all picked that number, but 3-year-olds do not have a complete grasp on reality. They don't have a deep understanding of the world around them. So it's one thing if your child says, oh, I want to be if your child is a girl and just says off the cusp of her mouth, just like, oh, I want to be a boy, just one day, and then keeps running around in circles with her girlfriend. That's one thing. But it's another thing for your child to consistently come to you and look you dead in your eyes and say, like, something feels different about me. Something feels, and over telling you that. That's a completely different story. So for y'all to be over here trying to judge, and that's what my friend Sherry was saying, like, we need to have we need to have parents over here in that conversation who are parents of trans kids, who went through this and who could talk to y'all and tell y'all to shut the hell up, or tell y'all about their experience with their own trans child. If you know your child, get to know your child. I don't want to get to know your child. It's one thing to say, oh, I want to play around in boys' clothes, and it's another thing for that child to be coming to you every day, looking you dead in your eyes, like you can see that something is really bothering them. They don't feel like they fit in. They're dysphoric with their own body. You gonna tell me you don't know the difference between somebody want to be flying around, be Superman, and somebody else who does not feel right in their own goddamn body? And you should know that if you're the parent and you know your child, you should see something. You should see something that lets you know that, hey, maybe we need to have a conversation. Hey, maybe I need to expose you to different trans people and literature, or just stories about people going through maybe the same thing that you are. We can have a conversation as parent-child, and we can decide the steps to move further. But it really is ridiculous for I don't know. We already know who pays Candace Owens. We already know the type of alt-right bullshit she loves to spread. But it's ridiculous to kind of dumb down parents on the left or parents of trans kids as just moronic clowns. For you to think that all it took is the child to say, oh, I want to be a girl, oh, I want to be a boy, and they just all of a sudden injecting a 3-year-old with hormones, you're purposely missing the point. And I don't know how else to describe it but that. You're purposely missing the point. And if you actually cared about these kids, if you actually cared about society and all this, you would sit your ass down and interview and talk to and even do some research about these parents of trans kids who have had to go through. I'm sure it was a struggle, especially if these parents were not aware of trans issues to begin with. I'm sure it was a struggle, it was a process, not only for the children but for the parents in that situation, and then for them to finally reach a place where the child felt comfortable and the parents are in the know. And now here comes Candace and fucking Mario Lopez talking, conflating sexuality with gender, not understanding a goddamn thing that they're talking about. For these families to go through all that work and research and affirmation, all that, to finally reach a point, and then here comes Candace Owens and Mario Lopez are taking a shit on it. It's just like, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. And then, so like I said, people will automatically be like, oh, well, girl, your child is 2, he's 3, he don't know whether he want to be a boy or girl or whatever. First of all of the information that they're getting about sexuality and gender is being force-fed down their throats I'm talking about, just like it was with me. I could not go one day without seeing one of y'all straight people making out on commercials, making out in school, holding hands across. So it's been force-fed. From the moment, I always say this, from the moment that they're born, oh, he's gonna be a ladies' man. Oh, girl. Oh, it's just like, damn, can he crawl first before y'all talk? So all of this shit is being force-fed down their throats. And if your kid comes to you and tells you, hey sis, like, this is not mending well with my spirit, y'all don't care about the damage that does. Y'all don't care about the damage that does. The depression, the lack of self-esteem that will result because of this shit, because of how society almost forces you to believe certain things about gender and sexuality that you may not, and you may not even experience. But y'all don't care about how that affects the kids. Y'all are just fake worried about these hypothetical children that all of a sudden know that they want to be a boy or girl at the age of 1 or 2 years old. Y'all aren't worried about the preconceived ass notions. Y'all aren't worried about about the unwritten rules of gender and sexuality that y'all shove down these kids' throats every waking moment of their lives. Y'all won't even let y'all sons run around here in a pink shirt. If we're talking about who does the most damage to kids, you need to think about that one more seriously. And all I'm saying is do your damn research. If you think you're gonna come up here talking about transgender issues and gender issues and then all of a sudden bring up, oh, well, 3-year-old doesn't know anything about sexuality. Okay, I thought we were having a conversation about gender. I thought that it's just like, even when y'all think y'all are making valid points, it's not based on research. It's not even based on the experiences of other people, because you automatically come to your own assumptions without even going. Candace could have, even if it was to just make herself look good, she could have asked at least a couple parents about their experience, but no, because she doesn't care. She doesn't care about the kids. She doesn't care about the parents. She just cares about spreading messages that will oppress people even further. So all I'm saying is do your damn research. But yeah, we have to really be careful when we have these discussions. Like I said, in that conversation was all types of, oh, it's just a phase, and oh, if I wear baggy pants, it's just like, y'all really think that fabric has something to do with gender? Like, you really are convinced that the way that fabric is thread, or which section a piece of cloth comes from, like the boys or girls section, that has so much to do with gender. It's just like, no, step outside of that. Step outside of that. That's the first thing. Stop thinking that everybody has to follow your rules. That's the second thing, because the way that y'all have socialized boys and raised them to not show emotion, not express a goddamn thing. Girl, they're out here pent up, emotionally fucked up, and abusive as hell, a lot of them. And then the way that y'all make girls internalize that misogyny and put price tags on their body, it's just like, y'all ain't been doing nothing with this shit that is constructive, that makes sense. So the minute that somebody steps outside of it, you need to just shut the fuck up and listen, because maybe there's a better outcome. But Mario Lopez did apologize. He said the comments I made were ignorant and insensitive, and now I have a deeper understanding of how hurtful they were. I have been and always be an ardent supporter of the LGBT community, and I'm going to use this opportunity to better educate myself. Moving forward, I'll be more informed and thoughtful. Yes, please be informed. At the very least, know what the hell you're talking about, because I have felt that same type of energy coming to me as a gay man. It's not the exact same energy because I'm not trans, but I felt that, oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about, essentially. When I was a young kid saying feelings, and this is sexuality, this is not gender. I can't even imagine how difficult it would be talking about gender, but it was the same type of reaction I got when I was a kid, saying that this is who I am. Talking about you're too young to even know, it's just a phase. Also, now you want to be a tree, now you want to be a rock, now you want to be a girl. It's just like, wow, sis, if you actually care, let's have a conversation about it, instead of jumping to fucking conclusions that you haven't done your research on. So that's all I'm saying. On that note, let's get Candace Owens some moisturizer for her hair so that we all can have a good goddamn evening.